As I've mentioned in the class notes, although this is a Samhain Vinyasa, we will be primarily focusing on the heart space as opposed to any Halloween themed postures. If you're not familiar, the Sanskrit word for the heart chakra is anahata, and that literally translates to unstruck. And often in yoga, we access this energy field in a very straightforward way through heart openers. Today, we are also going to explore the flip side of the heart, or what I like to call the shadowy side of the heart. So working to create space between the shoulder blades and also to strengthen the shoulder girdle. In yoga, we look at the shoulders and the arms and even the hands as being extensions of heart energy. And another way actually to activate that energy is through pranayama or breath practice, because the heart is considered to be governed by the element of air. So let's start there, find yourself a comfortable seat, and then get to work on finding your breath. It can help sometimes to close the eyes and remove any external influences. And this is purely observational, just checking in with how your breath is flowing in and out from the inside out, eliminating any compulsion to get involved in that process. But right about now, you might begin to experience a phenomenon, which happens when we give our attention to something. I think that the saying is where the attention goes, the energy flows. So it might start to feel like your breath is beginning to deepen almost on its own. So hang out with that. And then feel free to get involved if the mood takes you there. Follow the next breath in with curiosity. Experience it three-dimensionally around the rib cage, and when you finally are at the peak of that inhale, open your mouth and exhale. Let that go like a sigh. Awesome. Let's take Venus Lock and hold that right in front of the chest. Let your elbows relax, let your shoulders soften, and meditate on an energetic field between the heart and the hands. So maybe even start to feel a little buzz of energy there. And as we inhale, we'll spread the elbows apart slightly, wake up those biceps, and allow your heart to approach your palms. And as you exhale, retreat back, drag your tailbone into the mat, and lift your navel to your spine. Just a couple more times like that. Inhale. Feel that magnetic pull, heart towards the hands. Feel the arms waking up, and then exhale. Let yourself retreat back. Give yourself some space between the shoulder blades. One more breath like that. Cool. Pull your tailbone back down into the mat and sit tall. Now pull your palms together and nestle your knuckles underneath your chin. Squeeze those elbows together. We're going to get a lot more involved in our breath work now. So as we inhale, lift your chin. Squeeze the elbows. Preserve space at the back of your neck though. And as we exhale, neutralize the head, open your elbows, and just let your chin sort of rest on this shelf you've made. And we'll do that 6 more times. So inhale, squeeze the elbows, lift the chin. Keep your tailbone connected to the ground. Breathing out through the nose will neutralize. Elbows come wide. Let everything soften. Really good. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Breathing out through the nose. 3 more. Start to smooth out the edges. The breath and the movement, just one cohesive unit. Last time, breath comes in and out. Beautiful. Now press those palms forward, round the back a bit, lean back, find some resistance, and then send those palms up to the sky and sit tall again. Now we'll break free with the left hand and drop it down to the ground. Push up out of that hand. Now, if the floor is far away, you can use a block. And then look underneath your right elbow. Bring in some life into those intercostals between the ribs. These are the muscles that help us to breathe. And then come back to neutral, reclaim that Venus lock, flip it to the sky, take another stretch. And then we'll drop the right hand down. Push up out of that hand and look under the opposite elbow. Send your breath to the interesting places, wherever you feel the most sensation. And then come back to the center, find that lock again, send it to the sky, take another breath in. And as we exhale, we'll bring our palms to the mat behind us, plant the feet in front of us, and lift into an altar pose. So hips more or less in line with the knees. Now take a lion's breath. So breathe in through the nose, stand firmly into both feet, and stick your tongue out as you breathe out. And then melt your seat back down to the ground. Find tabletop. Spread your fingers out wide at the top of the mat. Organize your knees underneath your hips. And come right to cow pose. From this place, drop the belly. Broaden your collarbones and reach them forward. Tilt your tailbone up. Now the gaze is straight ahead. And then we'll push into the ground and take a cat pose, rounding the spine. Gaze back between the knees. And explore those two shapes on your own for another couple of cycles of breath. Allowing the breath and the movement to again synchronize. So slow one or the other down, if that helps you to find that synchronicity. And in this last round, you might add on a little action here. Moving shoulders, moving hips. As we take this last cat pose, let's all rock our hips side to side. And then walk our knees out wide to the edges of the mat. Bring our big toes to touch. Press back to child's pose, Dandasana. Just relax your arms and relax your forehead to the ground. And again, if it feels far away, use a block. And while we hang out in our own shadows here, we can cultivate Ujjayi Pranayama. Breathe in through the nose and build texture at the back of your throat by engaging your whisper muscles. And keep those muscles engaged as you breathe out through the nose. Let's have a listen to that sound. It's 2 more rounds of that pranayama on your own here. And meditate on how that sound registers to you. What does it conjure up? Maybe oceanic, maybe Darth Vader. For me, it often sounds like a filtration device, which reminds me that I can bring in what I need to sustain myself, and I can filter out what isn't necessary for the next little bit. Push your hands into your mat, lift yourselves up to a tabletop again, moving right into bird dog. Extend your right leg back and your left arm forward. And then lift the toes and the fingers. So there's a heart opener here, and we'll pull the elbow and the knee together. Push the ground away and find that opening between the shoulders, a little bit like cat pose here in the spine. And we'll do this 2 more times with breath. So inhale, reach out long. Exhale, pull it back together. 1 more time. Nice. Now, as we release long again, you've got a choice. You can either lengthen the arm and leg and spine so that they're parallel with the floor beneath you, or you can bend the right knee and reach back with that left hand and take an early tiger pose heart opener. And if you want to deepen this, come down onto the right forearm. And everybody roll open through the left shoulder and drop the right hip down. We'll bring the left hand to the mat and open up into a modified side plank, Sirsasana. Swivel the left foot behind you, extend the right foot to the back of the mat, slice the right arm overhead on a diagonal, get long, and then very gradually evolve this shape into a stargazer. Walk your right foot to the floor outside the mat and swivel the left foot clockwise towards your left wrist. Now lift your pelvis and open the right arm. Push up out of that left shoulder and then come down to child's pose. Unravel yourselves. And forehead back to the mat. Into that breath. And the next time you breathe in, we'll move right into bird dog on the opposite side. So this time, left leg back, right arm forward. Lift and up. And then make that elbow and knee connection. 2 more times, breath in. Exhale. Last one. And now you got that choice. You can extend into a more classic bird dog where everything is long and parallel with the ground. Or bend the left knee and reach back and capture that foot. Find your heart. Maybe lower down and deepen that opening. Yeah, just another breath here. Really good. And we're going to release the right hand to the mat, swivel the right foot back. Send the left toes to the back of the mat. So we're in this modified Sirsasana again. And then gradually walk that left foot to the floor. Tilt the pelvis up. Open wide through that left arm. And this time releasing to tabletop. Come to hands and knees. Plant your toes. Pull your elbows to your ribs and dip your chest and your chin down to the ground. Ashtanga Namaskar. Lift your tailbone higher and then point your toes and slither down to low cobra, Bhujangasana. Peel the shoulders down and away from the ears. Anchor the tops of your feet to the mat and lift your knees and then lift your palms. Let's take a breath. Really good. And then exhale, cat pose. Push your palms into the mat, round your spine again, gaze back between the knees. Tuck your toes and find cow pose. Pump the heart forward. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips, drop your head, and get acquainted. Once you got the snaps and the crackles and the pops out of the way, find some stillness, reclaim your breath. I want you to pull this next inhale to the back of the lungs. And then rinse it through the nose. Lift your right leg, 3-legged dog. And exhale, low lunge. Step that foot between the thumbs. Now, as soon as that foot arrives, we'll lower the left knee and sweep open to a modified side plank again, but this time lift your right leg. Yeah, and then pull the elbow and the knee together. Just give them a little tap, just one time. And then lengthen out again. And you could stay here, or you could bend that right knee and take a sideways bind. Pulling the foot back. Wrap the left side of the chest up towards the right shoulder, look over it. And then release to stargazer. And breath in. Come down onto the right forearm as you breathe out. And then bring your left forearm down. So we're in a low down tabletop. Now we'll take a low down cow pose here. So really moving the collarbones forward is the most dramatic part of that action. The belly will drop anyway, the tailbone will lift anyway. And then round your spine, taking this kind of low down cat. All right, neutralize the spine, step the right toes back, step the left toes back. We're in a dolphin plank. And really light up that space behind the heart. And then lower your hips to a sphinx pose. Untuck those toes. Feel like you're dragging the mat towards you. Look forward and think about lifting your abdominals here. Just another breath. Forearm cat pose is next. So press yourselves up, knees under the hips, round the spine. Tuck the toes, lift your elbows, cow pose. Breath flows in. Downward facing dog, breathe out. Lift your left leg, 3-legged dog. The intention is to keep the shoulders and hips square. Look forward, low lunge. And again, as soon as that foot arrives, we're going to lower to the right knee. And sweep ourselves open to that modified side plank. So lifting the left leg this time. Reach that left arm on a diagonal. Just one time, tap elbow to knee, and then reach out again. And just like before, you've got a choice to stay or take a bind. If you're in the bind, focus on the heart. And that will apply to pretty much all of our binds in this practice. Break free and find that stargazer. Left foot to the floor, hips to the sky. And the next time you breathe out, come down onto the left forearm, followed by the right. And we'll step the left foot back and the right foot back straight away, forearm plank. Stabilize shoulders over the elbows. And then lower the pelvis, point the toes, sphinx pose, breathe in. Stay on the forearms for cat pose as you breathe out. Tuck the toes for cow pose as you inhale. Downward facing dog, let's exhale. Good, lift your right leg, three-legged breath in. Exhale, low lunge. Bring your left knee down and let's take a crescent moon. As that knee comes down, shift into the right hip crease and then rise on up. So you feel a stretch in the top of the left thigh. Magnetize the right knee inward and raise your arms. Now if you find any compression in the low back, you can take that Venus lock again, flip it to the sky, and lift yourself out of it. Big breath. All right, now releasing modified side plank, perhaps right into that bind. Left hand finds the mat, maybe the right hand finds the foot. And then we break on through to the other side here. Stargazer. Come down onto the right forearm, followed by the left forearm. Straight away, we're in forearm plank. And then inhale to your Sphinx pose. Exhale, forearm cat. Tuck those toes, lift the elbows, cow pose, breath in. Down dog, breathe out. More and more surrender to your rhythm, that's what counts. Inhale the left leg high. Exhale, low lunge. What I mean by that is sometimes we'll fall out of sync and that's cool, right? So bring your right knee down. Move into that left hip crease. Dandasana, crescent moon. Do what you need to do to lift up out of compression. And then releasing. Modified side plank, perhaps right into the bind. And then setting that free into your Stargazer pose. And come on down to the left forearm, followed by the right into forearm plank. If this felt better with the knees down, go for it. Next inhale is Sphinx pose. Next exhale is forearm cat. Inhale, tuck the toes, cow pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a scan. Things are shifting. That's the magic. And then lift your right leg, breath in. Exhale, low lunge. Left knee comes down, crescent moon. I'm gonna meet you here. Keep those back toes tucked. And then cactus the arms and lift that back knee. Check that the hips are squared off here. Press that left heel back. If you have the space, you can also open the arms really wide, like capital T style. Now we want that right knee stacked over the ankle. Start to shift the weight forward and then step forward to an upward salute. So the left foot is just lined up with the other. Take that Venus lock. Push into the feet and then press your palms to the sky. And then release the hands to your sides, mountain pose. Dandasana. Give yourself time to adjust to the altitude. Bring your hands to a prayer right in front of your heart, Samastitihi. And then soften your knees and exhale, folding forward, Uttanasana. Hands will come to the mat now, and we'll step back with the right foot to a low lunge. Sink your palms to the mat and step the left foot back to an ordinary plank pose. Good, and then lower knees, chest and chin to the mat. Upward facing dog, point the toes, splash your heart on through, lift your thighs, yeah, and roll those shoulders back. And then roll over your toes, down dog, exhale. Inhale, the left leg lifts. Exhale, low lunge. Right knee comes down. This is crescent moon, but those back toes are tucked. Hug everything into the midline and then lift that back knee, cactus the arms. Gazes forward. Really good, press that right heel back. Shift into the left foot, step forward, upward salute. Clasp the hands, Venus lock. Now you can either stay straight up and down or press the hips forward and send your palms to the wall behind you, just to the degree that it feels interesting but sustainable. And then everyone, meet back in an upward salute. Pull the palms to a prayer. Hinge over your hips forward, fold Uttanasana. Set your left foot back to a low lunge. Send your right foot back to a plank pose. Good, now come to your tippy toes and then bend elbows to the ribs, lower halfway, Chaturanga. You can also use your knees for this one. Come to the tops of the feet, up dog. Urdhva Mukha. And then meet me in down dog, Adho Mukha. Breathing out. making those memories in the muscles. Okay, right leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, low lunge. Left knee down, crescent moon, breathing in. Exhale, lift the knee, open the arms. Inhale, step to your upward salute, find Venus lock. Exhale, either stay where you are or press the palms back. Inhale, straight up and down. Exhale, hands to a prayer, forward fold, Uttanasana. Now step your right foot back to a low lunge. This is an inhale. Exhale to Chaturanga, knees, chest, chin, or straight to your down dog. Here's my down dog now. I will meet you there. Take another couple of breaths. Okay, now lift your left leg. Inhale. Exhale, low lunge. Right knee down, crescent moon. Breath in. Exhale, lift that knee and open your arms. Inhale, step to an upward salute. Find that Venus lock. Exhale, stay where you are or find your heart. Inhale, straight up and down. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Hands to the mat. Send your left foot back, low lunge, breath in. Exhale, any which way you'd like. Chaturanga, knees, chest, chin, straight to down dog. Follow your own heart inclination. We'll meet in down dog either way. As we breathe in this time, lift your heels, bend your knees a lot. Really push up out of your arms. And with the next exhale, follow it to the bottom. And when you get there, step or float your way to the top of the mat. Now bring the big toes to touch and lift halfway. Ardha Uttanasana. Hands can be on shins or the mat or on blocks, whatever helps you to get a deep stretch in the spine. Lift your navel up to the spine and then fold forward over the legs deeply. Consider wrapping the arms around your calves. Give yourself a squeeze. And then release chair pose. Bend your knees, rock the weight to your heels, flip the arms forward and up. Press your shins forward and then just neutralize the tailbone down. Now we're coming into diver pose, so roll the weight to your toes. Lift your heels high, squeeze the thighs, press your thumbs back in, descend your heart to your toes. Good, now drop your hands. Bend your elbows, look forward. You may need to bend your knees a lot for this. And we'll step or float back, Chaturanga. Chase that with the heart. Meet me back in that down dog. Take a breath in. Listen to the breath out. What is it conjuring? Lift your right leg, inhale. Exhale, low lunge. Keep the left knee elevated, rise to a high lunge. Right knee is stacked over the ankle. And then cactus the arms, hover your back knee. Really good. Now that we're here, we'll float the right arm underneath the left and get a grip on both shoulders. Peel them apart and then turn the whole operation to the left. So a high flying warrior. Pull the tailbone down. Find even more light streaming through to that flip side of the heart. And then lift your toes and point them to the back of the mat. And then lift your arms and come on out of that hug into warrior two. Bend your left knee. You might slide the feet further apart lengthwise. Gaze is beyond the left fingertips. Flip your left palm, peaceful warrior, fall back. Lift out of the right side body, stay in the lunge. And then with an exhale, flow like you to down dog. So edit as you see fit. You might add on a little one-legged Chaturanga extravaganza. We'll meet a down dog. One way or the other. If you've got a more straightforward approach to get there, celebrate that. Left leg lifts. Exhale, low lunge. High lunge, come on up. Square the hips. And then hover the back knee and open the arms. Left arm sweeps under. Gain a grip on your shoulders. And then come into high flying warrior inside that hug. And keep peeling the shoulder blades apart as we lift the elbows up. And then turn the toes to the top of the mat. Come out of that hug into your warrior two. Sink into the right hip. And stabilize the left thigh muscle to the bone. Flip the front palm. Peaceful warrior, fall back. Breathe in. And then breathe out, release towards down dog. You can just like set that in the GPS as the destination and take any kind of route that appeals to get there. Right leg lifts again, inhale. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, hover and open the arms. Now sweep the right arm under the other. This time as we turn left, you've got the option to eagle wrap the arms. Leave it out if it doesn't feel good. And then lift your elbows. Turn your toes out. And then feel that space between the shoulder blades. Come on out of your bind and into goddess pose. Cactus the arms once more. Bend the knees, roll the knees outward. And feel like you're planting your tailbone right down between your heels. And then high flying warrior with the arms just reaching high. Now turn your right toes towards the back of the mat and come down to warrior two. Peaceful warrior, fall back, breathe in. Add a side angle pose this time as you breathe out. So the forearm can move to the side and keep opening space in that hip flexor. Or if you're already feeling pretty warm, bring the left hand down closer to the floor. And then hug the inseam of the left leg against that arm. Give yourself breathing room under the left lungs. Sink more weight into the right foot. And then look down and we'll come to side plank, Sirsasana. So plant your right hand. You can come to the right knee like we did earlier or roll to the knife edge of the right foot. Reach that left hand to the sky and everyone lift the left leg. And then everyone find the ground behind you with your left toes. Wild thing or stargazer. Breath in. Just flow like you back to down dog. One breath at a time. Left leg rising. Cementing these muscle memories. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, hover and open the arms. Left arm sweeps under, this time eagle wrap or hug yourself in high flying warrior. Lift those elbows up, up, up and turn the toes out. And as you breathe out, come on out to your goddess. High flying warrior, push into the feet to rise and reach high. Turn your left toes to the top of the mat, warrior two. Peaceful warrior, fall back. Extended side angle, do it your way. Hang out a while, ensure that that front knee is over the ankle. And then track a line from your left middle finger to your tailbone. And then from your tailbone to your left heel. Lengthen that line out. Look down, plant your left hand, Sirsasana side plank. Either on the knee or on the side of the foot. Everyone lift that right leg. And then find the ground behind you. Wild thing or stargazer. Flowing back. Downward facing dog. Feeling a little shinier already. Lift your right leg, inhale. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, hover the knee, open the arms. Right arm under, turn left, high flying with eagle arms. Turn those toes out and exhale, goddess pose. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Exhale, warrior two at the back. Peaceful warrior, we're breathing in. Extended side angle, we're breathing out. Inhale right to your wild thing or stargazer, just follow your breath. And exhale, flow like you to down dog. Any which way you like. Finding more and more freedom to just be who you are, how you are. Right leg high, we'll make the full circle. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, hover, open those arms. Right arm under, we turn left. Eagle wrap the arms. Turn the toes out as you exhale, goddess. Inhale, fly high. Exhale, warrior two at the top. Peaceful warrior, fall back, breathe in. Extended side angle, exhale. And then inhale, flip the script to your wild thing or your stargazer. I'm talking slowly because we're gonna add something here. Come down onto your left forearm and then your right forearm. So we're in our old friend, dolphin plank again. Good, now walk your toes back towards your elbows. I guess that's front towards your elbows, yeah? And then drop your head down, dolphin dog.
You're going to stack your shoulders over your elbows. Soften your knees and pull your hips up high. And then drag your heels back down towards the ground. Just a breath here. Really good. Step back with the right foot and then the left foot coming right back into that dolphin plank. Sphinx pose happens next. Breathe in. And exhale, forearm cat. Round the spine and look back. Tuck those toes, cow pose, breathing in, checking in with the shape again. Maybe it feels different. Exhale, down dog. Recalibrate. And we'll lift the left leg when you're ready. Exhale to your low lunge. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, hover, open the arms. Left arm under, turn to the right. Eagle wrapped, high flying. Turn those toes out. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Exhale, warrior two at the back. Peaceful warrior, fall back and breathe in. Extended side angle, exhale. Find what you need here. Left hand drops down. Now we flip the script straight away. Wild thing or stargazer. Exhale, starts that motion back to home base. However you need to get there. And I'll meet you there. Left leg rising. Exhale, low lunge. High lunge, breath in. Open the arms, hover, breathe out. Left arm under, turn to the right, eagle wrapped, high flying. Fill your lungs and then exhale into your goddess. Inhale, fly high. Exhale, warrior two at the top. Peaceful warrior, fall back, breathe in. Extended side angle, exhale. Flip the script. This is wild thing or stargazer. You can use the left knee if that feels more relevant in your anatomy. And then come down onto the right forearm, followed by the left. Dolphin plank, sustain it. And walk the toes towards the elbows, drop the head, dolphin dog. Slide those shoulders up out of the ears. And then try lifting the right leg. Bend that knee towards the top of your head and then pump your heart forward. Bring those toes down. Raise the left leg. Bend the knee, toes reach to the head reaches towards the toes. And then lower those toes. And step it back. One foot at a time, dolphin plank. Inhale to your Sphinx. Exhale, forearm cat. Tuck the toes, cow pose, breathe in. Exhale is down dog. Just dropping that head. Breathing your breath, reclaiming you. Lift your right leg. Peel the hip open, bend the knee, scorpion dog. Shoulder girdle stays squared off and strong, but we'll circle out that hip. And then pull the right knee to the left elbow, crossing under the body. Come right back to scorpion dog. And then drag that right knee out to the right shoulder, flex the toes. Three-legged dog comes next. So lengthen and square off. Exhale, low lunge. Plant that back heel and come up to warrior one. Really good. So aiming to square those hips off again. Seal down the outer edge of that left foot. Open your arms wide. Sweep the right arm under and turn to the left. So we're in this high flying warrior with eagle arms again. Turn the left toes to the back of the mat. Press the right heel to the top of the mat. Now think about pulling your left thigh bone towards the hip and hinge yourself forward over that hip. Allow the right hip to flare out to the right. So we're in this kind of eagle triangle situation. Right, snuggle your heart up to your arms and roll your chin up over the right shoulder. Now more weight to the right foot in order to soften the left knee. And then we'll break free. Left hand to the mat, right hand to the sky, Trikonasana. Soften into that front knee. Your left hand could be on the mat, it could be on either side of the foot or on the foot itself. But also feel free to use a block. And I want you to kiss the shoulder blades together and then fold your right arm behind your back. See if you can get a grip on that left thigh. Moving into a half bind. Lean back against your right arm. Like unrolling the spine into this shape with support. Now the gaze shifts down. You may want your block for this transition. Moving into half moon pose with a half bind. Bend into your right knee. Launch yourself onto that leg. And activate the right foot into the mirror. That's what you've got there, that's what I have there. Or into that proverbial imaginary wall. Now, if the bind feels like a burden, you can come out of it and send that hand skyward. But since we have the shoulder open, you might choose to bend the right knee and catch that foot. Sugar cane. Very similar to the sideways binds we took on our knees. So find your heart. Using the weight of that right leg. Just another breath. Chair pose will be the escape hatch. Bend your left knee, set the right foot down next to the other. Lift the arms forward and up. Diver pose. Plant the palms, bend the elbows. Choose to step or float your way back. Follow your breath. Come back home. Breathe in and breathe out. Raise your left leg up and over scorpion. Stir it up. And then bring that knee to the opposite elbow, cross under. Scorpion again, breath in. Left knee to the left shoulder, flex the toes, breathe out. Three-legged dog, lengthen, square off. And exhale, low lunge. Bring the right heel down, warrior one, finding a stretch on the back of the right leg. So from the Achilles all the way up to the glute. Really good, and then open the arms. Left arm sweeps under, turn everything to the right. And then turn the right toes to the top of the mat, press that left heel back. Drag the right femur towards the hip socket. Allow the left hip to flare out as we move the torso down just halfway. Soften the right knee, sink into the left foot. Lengthen your spine. Notice your heart right now. And then break free, Trikonasana, triangle. Right hand down, left hand high. Nicely done. Bring those shoulder blades to touch and then take that half bind. See if you can get a grip on the right leg. If you have that grip, you can use it to pull the leg back towards you. Good. Then continue to open that shoulder, but shift the gaze downward. Maybe find that block. Bend into the right knee. Launch into your half moon pose. Ardha Chandrasana. As the left leg rises, we lift up out of the right leg. Start to remove some weight from the right hand as well. And maybe stay right here. Or utilize that open shoulder in Chapasana. Just a couple more breaths, find what you find. And coming down and sitting in a chair next. Yeah, and then take that dive. And plant your palms. Now, you can skip this part if it's not interesting, but I'm going to walk us through a little crow pose arm balance. Bending the elbows, just like we did to set up our chaturanga float back. This time, bend your knees to the backs of the arms and look forward. So this is the pose, right? You don't even have to lift your toes. But since this is about curiosity today and mystery, see what happens if you lift one. Maybe the other 9 will follow, right? Hug those elbows in tight, lift the abdominals. Look forward, and you might just step or float back to chaturanga. I will meet you in a puppy pose. So take as much time playing with that as you need. And then bring your knees to the mat. Walk your arms forward and melt your heart to the ground. And breath by breath, just urging the heart deeper and deeper towards the earth. Good, and then walk your hands towards you. We're gonna come onto the forearms again. I know. And move into an inversion, so a supported headstand. If you prefer, relocate yourself so you have a wall to kick up into, or sometimes just knowing that the wall is there can serve as a safety net. But our supported headstand requires our Venus lock. And then we'll bring the top of the head down between the elbows and hug the elbows in to frame the head. And I want you to feel strong enough in the shoulders there that you could float your head away from the mat, which you likely won't do while your feet are in the air, but that's the intention, right? So we're not dumping into the neck. All right, so as you are ready, and then you can tuck your toes and walk them towards your elbows. Shrug those shoulders up and experiment with lifting one foot and maybe both feet. So you're in what I like to call the egg. And you can stay here as long as you want, or one day maybe hatch. Toes to the sky, that energy line rising up through the toes. Lengthen it out. Keep breathing. And coming down, just like we got here. Pull one knee in, and pull the other knee in. And then slow motion, bring the toes down, and come to child's pose. Arms forward, knees as wide as you want them. Rest your head and breathe your breath. And checking in three-dimensionally around the rib cage. How do you feel? Probably the most functional component to yoga for me has always been this moment right here. We start to get the body out of the way and we start to realize the information it contains. So spend another breath or two with that. And then we'll come back up onto the forearms. And then walk the knees underneath the hips. Now we're going to guide the right middle finger towards the top left edge of the mat. And then step back into a forearm plank and roll to the knife edge of the right foot. So we're in this very special edition forearm side plank. Elbows over the, shoulders over the elbow. Raise your left arm and then slide your left foot to the floor. Bend that knee, stand into the left foot and peel the chest open. So we're just working into these very special parts of the shoulders. Breathe. Come down onto the left forearm. Similar deal. You can lower the knees if you'd like to set it up, but point the left middle finger to the top right-hand corner of the mat. Come to the knife edge of the left foot. Stack those joints. Reach for the sky. And then slide the right foot to the floor. Bend that knee so you can stand into the right foot to peel the heart up. And then start to feel three-dimensionally around the left shoulder. All these supporting cast muscles that start to show up and literally support you. Yeah, okay. And then come down onto both forearms. Really good. And then we'll walk the toes towards the elbows. Come back to that dolphin dog. Drop the head. And exhale, let the head get heavy. Now can you push into both hands and lift both elbows and find a down dog from here? And feel free to space out the hands a bit more if you need to. And feel free to do that one elbow at a time if you need to. Then lift your right leg, breathe in. Exhale, low lunge. Bring the left knee down to earth. Crescent moon, let's check in with the shape again. Raise the arms. Lift yourself up out of compression if you need to. And then pull the hands to a prayer. Deliver it to your heart and turn the torso to the right. Taking a revolved lunge. Hook the elbow outside the knee. Now, as long as that back knee is grounded, you can continue to move into the right hip, even if the knee starts to press forward ahead of the ankle. But if you decide to tuck the back toes and lift that knee, if that gives you a more satisfying twist, just make sure that the right knee is over that ankle joint. Stretch long, twist a little deeper. Feel free to open your arms if you need to, especially if that helps to improve the flow of breath. And then we'll come down to a lizard lunge. Bring both hands to the left of the right foot, turn the right toes out, and come down onto the left thigh. And then again, we're stacking knee over ankle on the right here. As we're still lifted here, you could add a bind and a twist with a bend of the left knee, reach back and around and catch that foot. Let it draw the heart back a bit. Maybe roll onto that knife edge of the right foot. Some of you might come down onto the left forearm. If this twist doesn't appeal, you can still come down onto both forearms to take some pressure off the wrists. Big breath. Good, and then everyone bring both hands to the mat. Tuck those back toes, come to scorpion dog. Float that right leg up and over. Stir it around and then flip over either into a wild thing, or when you get here, you could choose to plant both feet and lift the hips into a half wheel. And stay for 3 breaths wherever you are. Pushing the ground away with that strong left arm. Good, and then coming back into a 3-legged dog, right leg high. Right into half pigeon pose. Pull the right knee towards that front wrist, that right wrist. And slide the ankle towards the opposite wrist. And activate those right toes. Now, if this feels like it's unhealthy for the right knee, come over to your back for figure 4. If you're ready to chill, you can walk your hands forward and rest straight away. While I'm lifted here, I will demo a little mermaid pose, and you're invited to come along on that trip if you'd like. Bend your left knee, gather that foot to your elbow nook. So we're pulling the heel towards the glute, and the chest begins to rotate to the left. Now you can check in with your balance, raise your right arm. If things feel a little wobbly, bring that hand back down to earth. You always have that option. Or you can bend the elbow and connect the hands and rest your face against your right bicep. If the hands are just out of reach of one another, you can also use a towel or a strap between them. And then sing your own little siren song here. And then everybody can chill out for about 3 more breaths, releasing down, elbows wide, head resting. Keep those right toes active. Really good. Walk the hands up towards your knees. Let's turn to the left and take a little interlude here. So working deeper into those intercostals. Right foot is folded against the left thigh. Sit tall and turn your torso to the right. Bring your left hand to that right thigh. And then come up overhead with the opposite arm and see if you can catch hold of your foot. And if not, maybe just catch hold of the back of the head. And keep weight on the right thigh. And give yourself, breath by breath, room, space beneath the left ribs. And come up to a stargazer pose, right hand to the mat, spiral on up. Let it feel like a juicy stretch this time. And then swing forward and down, tabletop, hands and knees. Just tuck those toes and lift right up and back to down dog. Really good. Lift that left leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Right knee comes down. This is crescent moon. Again, we're checking in first. Removing any compression. Hands to a prayer, twist to the left. Maybe find some chiropractic along the way. Adjust it. And again, you can keep that back knee grounded. And lengthen the spine while moving into the hip. Or tuck the back toes, stack that knee over the ankle, and power back through the right heel as you reach forward with the crown of the head. And the arms might open. One more breath. Lizard lunge. How about it? Hands to the inside of that left foot. Turn the left toes out, come down onto the right quadricep. Walk that left foot out as far as you need it to be. And then either chill out straight away with both forearms on the mat or take your twisted bind. Either way, you can roll to the knife edge of the left foot and explore space and light within your body. Really good. Everybody, hands to the mat. And tuck those back toes. We're gonna lift that left leg up and over to scorpion. And then when you get there, choose your choices. You can flip right over to a wild thing or plant both feet and take that half wheel pose. We'll try to soften the glutes and stand into both feet if you're in half wheel. And push up out of that right arm. Really good. Three-legged dog. To Ekapada Raja Kapotasana, half pigeon pose. And again, if you know that you prefer figure four, go to your back and move right into that. And while I'm lifted here, I will take half pigeon, mermaid pose on this side. I could have mentioned this on the other side too. If the left hip is lifted far away from the mat, you can fill in that space so you have an even keel across the pelvis. So a scarf or a pillow or even a strap, usually a block is a little too bulky. But experiment with that, and then you can take hold of the foot, move it into the nook of the elbow, check with your balance, maybe connect those hands, and sing your siren song. Really good, and then releasing. So everyone can chill out for a bit. If you'd like, take your blocks with you. And as we bring the arms forward and down, you can move your elbows onto those blocks at shoulder level. Bring your hands to a prayer and deliver that prayer to the back of your head. And allowing the triceps to breathe deeply too. They've been doing a lot for us. And slowing down your breath. Really good. Releasing, move those blocks out of the way. Bring your hands to the mat. And then walk yourself up and over to the right. So if you're on your backs, you can meet us here. Sole of the left foot against the right thigh. Twist your torso to the left. Bring your right hand to that leg. And then come up and overhead with the left arm. And work deeply into those breathing muscles. Keep weight in the left glute. Tuck the chin slightly. And send your breath to those spaces that feel brand new, like they're just waking up. And releasing to a passive stargazer. Feel light emanating from you. And come down to a seat facing the back of the mat. We'll stretch both legs forward here. And then bring the hands behind you. Once again, fingertips point towards you. Now you are more than welcome to take another altar pose like we did so long ago. Or we can take this into an inverted plank pose instead. So planting both feet, lift the hips, really plant those big toes, send the head back. And everyone pull the shoulder blades together and take a lion's breath. Breathe in through the nose. And then the hips will come down and we'll fold over our legs, Paschimottanasana. Let your head fall either onto your own legs or maybe onto a prop between them. In slow motion, rolling up to a seat. Plant your feet. Take Venus lock and use it to resist gravity as we lower down to our backs. Bone by bone. So flip those palms, press them forward. Come down slow and in control. And once the back of the head meets the mat, release your palms down next to your hips. Walk the feet closer to your hips. Yeah, bridge pose, stand into both feet. Lift your pelvis, let the spine follow just until things start to get interesting. And then you can decide what you really need right now. If you're ready to chill, take a block, any height setting underneath your sacral plate. So that's that bony ridge just above the glutes, but beneath the small of the back. If you want a deeper heart opener here, you can roll the shoulders underneath you. Venus lock returns, plant that lock into the mat, use it as leverage to lift your heart higher. And then press the shins forward like we did in our chair pose. Soften your throat and release any remnants of that Ujjayi breath. And one more breath wherever you are. Trust that it's where you need to be. And open those arms, remove the block. If you're using it, roll back down bone by bone. You can even take that lock over the chest, press it to the sky, pressing the back of the heart down into the ground. Then walk the feet out to the edges of the mat and let your knees fall together. Constructed rest. Bring your hands to your shoulders, just move those shoulders around. Open the arms and switch the crossing. Just love up on you. And releasing those arms, we'll take another spine lifter. We've been doing a lot of work into the heart space, so wheel pose feels appropriate. I'll walk us through that, but if you'd rather take that supported version of bridge pose, you can do that. That sounds really nice, actually. Once we get into wheel pose, I'll show you something else we can do from that place. So if this is new to you, you're going to take your chaturanga arms, or rotate them overhead and plant the palms with the thumbs by the ears. And then stand firmly into both feet and push up to the top of the head. Even if you've done like 1,000 wheels in your life, always start here. Make sure that you can sustain yourself with little to no weight on the head, and also that the low back is okay with it. So if the low back gives you the green light, you can lengthen the arms and start to press your heart through your arms. Now, if you want to see where we can go with our wheel next, this is called Viparita, Viparita, Dandasana. Lower back to the top of the head. Support yourself with one arm while you bring the opposite forearm to the mat. And then bring the other forearm down. Take that Venus lock again. And you can stay here or lengthen out the legs. Really get into your heart from here. And wherever you are, 2 more breaths. And cradle the back of your head in your palms as you roll down from this place. If you're coming down from wheel, tuck the chin first. And bridgers, you know what to do. Let's meet here. And straight away, release the arms, cross your right thigh over the other, so eagle wrap the legs. And then tuck your left hip down to the mat, extend the arms wide, and send both knees over to the left. Twisted roots. Look out towards your right hand, or maybe use the left hand on the right thigh to deepen the twist. And then unravel yourself, plant the right foot, send the left leg up and over, and we'll just take that straight to the other side. Make it heavy in the left shoulder. Really good. And then unravel yourselves. Bring your legs up in the air. So waterfall pose. And this is a place where the circulation can begin to flow towards the heart. So effortlessly, almost, we can start to nurture this part of us, of our energy system. So you can stay here. I'm going to show us how to get into plow pose as another option, which really focuses on that shadowy part of the heart, as well as strengthening into the shoulders as kind of a last hoorah here. So if you want to take plow pose with me, we'll send our hips up and over the shoulders and reach our toes to the mat above the head. You can do this with your hands grounded on the mat, or you can do them with your do it with your hands on your hips for a little manual assist, right? Otherwise, use your core strength, lift the hips up and over. And then if the feet arrive, you can take that Venus lock, press it into the mat. Another option from here is shoulder stand, hands to the spine, walk the elbows close together, and lift the legs up to the sky. And just receive to your heart what you need. And after a few breaths, bring the knees to your forehead, your ears, or maybe even catch your feet in your hands. And then we'll meet in happy baby. Roll the spine back down to the mat. Stand into your feet as you pull your tailbone forward and down. And rock it out side to side. Give yourself any other action that you need before we really start to let the body go and move into that final stage. Soles of the feet will come to touch. Lower the knife edges of the feet. Let the knees come out wide to the ground. And then bring a hand to your heart and a hand to your belly. Soften your elbows. Soften your eyes. And then feel the rise and fall of your hands in tandem with your breath. Can you detect the rhythm of your heartbeat? Imagine every time your hands lift up, a glimmering green light deep inside your ribs begins to shine a little brighter. A little brighter. A little brighter. This light in you that never really goes out. Focus there. And what it represents, your capacity not only to give love freely, but your ability to receive love just as unabashedly. And drink it up and get brighter until that light is emanating from your pores. This light is your love, it is your mystery, it is your life force. Well, reach down to your knees and we'll close them together. You can pull the knees to your chest and lift your forehead up to them. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And we'll hold that breath in just for 3 counts. And then exhale and release out to corpse pose, Chapasana. It's a physical metaphor for reinvention. Reminding ourselves that nothing ever really ends. It's all a cycle that continues onward. And that light in you is part of this cycle. Hold your next breath out for 3 counts. And then breathe in for 3, 2, 1. Retain that breath for 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 3, 2, 1. Hold that breath out for 3, 2, 1, going again, just like that. Inhaling 3. Retaining that breath. Exhaling 3 counts. Now hold that breath out for 3 counts. Go one more time on your own. At the peak of the inhale, stare down what it feels like to hold back from yourself. And at the bottom of that exhale, notice what it feels like to hold back from the world around you, from your community. And then just let that go. Take a breath in like you want to. Breathe out and let it feel good. And continue to breathe that way in your own supine meditation for as long as you need to, which is reclaim your magic. Whenever you are ready to take that magic off your mat and back out into the world, remember that light that you contain and understand how it participates with all of those other lights walking around. And be an active and conscious participant in that exchange. As per usual, the light in me is so humbled by and grateful for that light in you. Happy Samhain and Namaste, witches.